I'm CJ Tillman. I'm with Chris.
What's good?
Welcome to FillDaGap, the place where we figure out where you are right now and where you are going. If you don't know that, this is the perfect for you. Today we have a great representation of a leader, coach, mentor, father, and a Raider legend, a two-time state champion quarterback, a record-breaking offense coordinator, and now the first Richmond alum to ever lead the football program in 50 years as head coach. Everybody welcome Coach Brad Denson.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
What's going on, man?
Oh, we're here, baby. We're here. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah. For people who don't know who you are and what you do, can you fill them in?
Yeah. Brad Denson, born and raised here. Graduated here in '99. Played on the '97, '98 team. Multi-sport guy, played kind of all three sports in high school, and then kind of gave up basketball after we won our first state championship. Just played so long into the season and kind of knew what my ticket was, and my ticket was baseball. Went to college, played baseball at UNCW, got a finance degree, and got out of school, and did my 5 years of college baseball. Loved it, great memories. Got to travel the world, or travel the country playing baseball. A lot of great friends. Then went into the, I guess you'd say, the corporate world. Worked at a pharmaceutical company for a while, doing some budgets, and didn't really like the cubicle life too much. Got out of that, and I went into construction, and I had never done construction any of my life, and one thing led to another. Worked at 84 Lumber for a while. Worked at Guy C. Lee Building Materials for a while, and then obviously the economy in '08 went down, and that's how I ended up back in the coaching world and decided to move back to Rockingham, a place that I never said I'd come back to, and here I am, and it's 15 years later.
I thought everybody say that.
Everybody does say that, and I get it, but home is home, and home is always a great place to go.
Yeah. So how I know Coach Denson is when I played at Richmond, he was the offensive coordinator, the running backs coach, and I was kind of jumping on that side of the ball. So I was with him a little bit, playing on defense and offense and stuff like that. When you was coaching under Coach Till and stuff like that, you was averaging 45. It said you was averaging 45,000 on the offensive side each season you was there. Like, what's it like stepping into that head coaching role, coming from that to now?
The head coaching role is totally different than just that, because that's really the only thing you had to worry about at that time. Being an offensive coordinator, you're worried about that. Somebody else is taking care of the defense, and you're really just concentrating on that. Now, you got to open your eyes up to everything.
Yeah.
So there's so many more things going on, and so much more going on that people don't realize what all truly is happening behind the closed doors, as opposed to just a Friday night. It's even harder now. Yeah, I still am the offensive coordinator, but having to be truly into the game the entire time on a Friday night, whereas in the past, hey, when we were off the field as an offense, I could grab the iPad, I could go over there and do my thing and not even pay attention.
Right.
Now I still have to be engaged. If there's penalties or if there's stuff going on, that I have to be be engaged and following all of that throughout the course of a game. So it's a lot harder now than what it was. But I learned a tremendous amount under Coach Till, and having that experience.
Yeah. Do you think being a head coach is like more you? You know what I'm saying? Like you say, you did offense too. You're doing offense too. So is that head coaching thing is something like feels better to you?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I've always felt like I was a leader, and I always felt like, really whatever I decided to do in whatever profession it was, whether it was in construction sales or, whether it was an offensive coordinator or whether it was the head coach, you're going to get all I got.
Right.
And I feel like I can be successful doing that. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of, it's a job, man. It's a job.
Yeah. Let's take it back a little bit. 1997, 1998, undefeated seasons, 2 state championships. What made those teams just so special to go back to back like that?
We had great players who understood what it took.
Yeah.
And I think we have had great players here in the past, but there's just something. It gets hard it gets hard after Thanksgiving. It gets really hard. It get the monotony of practice, the same thing over and over, and to be able to play into December, it takes a special group of guys, and that's what we had. Obviously, we had great playmakers. We had, all of that, but it took an understanding of how dialed in and how focused you have to be throughout every single week, all the way through the playoffs.
Right.
And that's a hard thing to get, high school guys to be able to do. And we were fortunate enough to be able to do that then.
Yeah, I don't think people really understand how hard it is to stay locked in for that long on one particular thing that involves like 100 other people to do one simple thing, one simple goal, and y'all did that back-to-back years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people can really recognize or even come to the understanding how hard it really is. You know what I'm saying? Let alone just a season, but two.
Right. Let me ask you this: how was like Raider football back then in them times? Like with the fans, like how was that environment then?
Unlike any I've ever seen before in North Carolina. I think probably some schools in Texas, some schools in Georgia will probably top it. But when I say I've literally played in this stadium and seen this stadium, where you cannot tell where these bleachers and that hill starts, where you cannot tell where those bleachers and that hill starts, and 5 deep around the fence, bleachers in both end zones, behind both end zones. It's and that's one of my goals. I want our kids to experience that, and it is, it's unreal to the amount of people that I've seen inside of this stadium right here.
Not really.
Was there like a specific game in high school that you remember the most? Like what was like the craziest game you played?
Craziest game? Probably 1997, third round, Thanksgiving weekend, West Charlotte. It was the second time we had played them, 1 and 2 in the state. They had a quarterback, really good Division I player. They went up 26-7 on us at the very end of the third quarter. He came to our sideline and he gave a little throat slash, and then he jogged back to his sideline. Final score was 27-26 Raiders. We kind of turned it on in the fourth quarter and scored right there on that end with 27.2 seconds to go. It's kind of crazy that I remember that. But I actually scored the game-winning touchdown on a quarterback sneak. We had no timeouts. We had ran it one time before. I got it down to the foot-yard line, and all I remember seeing was Coach Barnes do it again, and yeah. I just was calling 0, 0, 0, and I didn't do a sneak. I jumped over, put the ball over, and pulled it back. Because all you have to do is break the plane. Got the touchdown, and it was. Our fans literally tried to tear the goalpost down that night. It was wild. It was wild.
Nah, that's funny. You started coaching at Carteret before coming back to Richmond. What made you want to return?
My brother-in-law at the time actually gave me the opportunity to coach baseball there. Like I said, I was a college baseball guy. And I was in building supply sales, construction sales at the time. And man, I kind of fell in love with it. My dad's he had been a coach for 30-something years. I'd always said, I'm not getting into education, not getting into coaching. Then I got a little taste of it there, and that was in 2007. And I was like, man, I can do this. This is fun. And then, luckily, or I'm not saying luckily, but the good Lord made things happen, and the economy goes to mess in 2008, and happened to have a few connections back here to get into the school system, and next thing you know, here I am in January of 2009, moved back home to teach and coach.
Yeah. You was a little bit late for that 2008 game.
Yep, a little bit late. It's kind of crazy. I actually accepted the job tailgating with the principal and the superintendent at the time, tailgating at the state championship game. Yeah.
I was at that game. I was telling CJ about it, and I had to show it to him on YouTube, like how crazy that game was. Like literally the fans are leaving, like crazy.
Yep.
And it's crazy that the same video he was talking about, we had got it into that video because we was talking about doing a podcast with you and stuff like that. So we was talking about, it's crazy that when we talk about you, we talk about just the winning of the program itself of Raiders. And he was showing me that video. I was like, because I've never seen it before. You know what I'm saying? Just to come back, talking about like y'all really created the Raider magic. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That you preached, that y'all was preaching to us and stuff like that. Talk about how that Raider magic, like, and how because I feel like it's a real feeling. That's a real thing.
It is. It is, and it goes way back before that 08. It goes back to before 1997, the game I was telling you about earlier. It goes back. I think probably one of the first times that I truly remember it was the 1990 state championship. We were playing West Forsyth, and we were down 6-0. Eric Thomas is the quarterback, flips it running back, you know, and we actually had ran, or Coach Barnes, I don't know how he's got the guts to call this, but it was 4th and probably 15, 4th and 19, something like that. And he called trap. Gave it to Flip right up the middle. We busted off about a 30-yard run, get us down, and the very last play, they had an NFL guy who played DN for them, was running down Eric Thomas. He rolls right. He just launches about a 40-yard bomb up to the end zone, hits off of a dude's helmet, lands into one of our players' hands who had not caught a pass all year. That was his only pass he caught all year.
Wow.
And we score the touchdown and win the state championship at the buzzer, literally. And that's kind of my first remembrance of Raider magic.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, said you were talking about you played college baseball.
Mm-hmm.
How was that transition from, because I don't know how like your record when you was in college playing baseball. How was it feeling like always winning and then just switching to something else?
The first couple of years at UNCW, we were extremely young. We didn't win. I mean, we weren't terrible, but the magic number in college baseball is 40 wins. You know, throughout your regular season, we were 30. So we were 10 wins off. We were pretty bad. And then in 03, we kind of, I came in with 16 freshmen, and we kind of put a lot of stuff together in 03. We made our first regional, which is basically the field of 64 for basketball. We made our first regional in baseball. We got shipped down to LSU, who was the number 2 team in the country. It's a full house stadium, 10,000, 12,000 people. We'd never played in front of anything like that. And we go down there and make it to the championship game. They beat us in a walk-off bomb in the bottom of the 11th inning. And I really think that's when all those winning ways started coming back, you know, because when you look at that group of guys, I don't think any of them, you know, played in the big leagues, none of them. But it was just a bunch of scrappy guys that wanted to win.
Yeah.
And we'd do whatever it took to win. So, you know, those winning ways started coming back there, and then in 04 we won a conference championship, and then obviously I graduated right after that.
Yeah. You talking about scrappy guys, like just off the top of your head, can you name some of the scrappy guys that came through Richmond?
Oh my Lord. Man, I couldn't even begin to tell you the amount of guys and players that, you know, just one either did it the right way or just had a football mentality, a no-lose mentality, a no-quit mentality that, you know, this place is kind of designed around.
Yeah.
There's so many guys throughout the years, you know, and I think everything that is happening now is a credit to them. And,
right.
you know, from 1972 on, to be able to keep this tradition of Richmond Senior High School football in Richmond County rolling along, you know, it's a special testament to each and every person who's ever suited up here.
Right.
So CJ played under you too, right?
Yep.
Do you remember any remembers about CJ playing?
Oh yeah. He got ejected as a 9th grader in a JV game, and part of his punishment was we made him come up and practice with the varsity, and the crazy fool, we couldn't stop him. And we were like, what in the world? Next thing I know, he's playing varsity football as a 9th grader because he got ejected on a JV game, and we couldn't stop him at practice. And, you know, that, again, I think God does everything for a reason. I think that happened to him for a reason, because he kept wanting to come up and practice with us, and we would never let him do it.
Yeah.
He kept coming up, like with the JVs would get done, he would come up to practice and just watch, and we'd just kind of almost like shun him aside.
Yeah, they will send. I remember like vividly. They will send DeMarcus Harrington, Derek Behringer, Zebu, and Zaire Baldwin. No discredit to them, but I'm like, man, I gotta get up there. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get up there. So when they would send them up there, like I come up there, like they called my name too. They was like, nah. So I was just watching, like that was just crazy.
Yeah, and that's how he kind of got brought up. But you know, this guy's mentality of playing and his work ethic, you know, in everything, you know, through the weight room, through the classroom, and all. There's a reason why he's where he's at today.
Nah, I appreciate that. Coach Hoggard, what are some lessons that you picked up from him that still stick with you to today?
Coach Hogg actually came here my senior year. He was the O-line coach my senior year in 1998, so that was the first time I ever got to meet him. And he signaled plays in. Obviously, I was the quarterback. He'd signal plays in, and you know, he'd mess it up every now and then. I'd get him right on the field, and that's what I want out of a quarterback today.
Yeah.
I want. Hey, y'all know it y'all should know it just as good as the coaches do, and get us right.
Right.
They should be an extension of you.
Yeah, they're an extension, and you know, I think probably one of the biggest things that I take from Coach Hogg, I don't have team rules. I've got one rule, and it came straight from Coach Hogg. It's do right. And it's, if you can't figure out how to do right, I'll help guide you to do right. And then if you can't still figure out how to do right, then I've got to get rid of you. And he always said, you know, if you have to think about it, if there's a thought process and should I do this or should I not do this, then it's wrong. It's very simple. And you know, he was, man, and when I came back in 2009, man, he gave me the first opportunity to coach football, and it's amazing how much I learned under him, not only about football, but about life, about how to deal with kids, about how to run a program. It was really wild because he's so old school, still is that way. But it was really special to have him as, you know, one of those first guys to really show you how to run a program.
Yeah. When you speak about programs, you're the first Raider alum to be a head coach in 50 years. Hearing that, what does that mean to you?
Very humbling. Been a lot of hours, a lot of sweat, blood, tears, whatever you want to call it. You know, either here or back there. But it's been a lot, and it is very humbling, considering the amount of people who have played here and who have coached here. You know, I can't even begin to name the amount of head coaches that have played here, that are out there now. You got Mormon, you got Coach Johnson, I mean, there's all kinds of guys. And you know, and then to be the first true alumni to get that opportunity it's very humbling, but that's also why I have the staff that I have. I went after guys, a lot of the people who played here and put in that time and work and know what this place is about.
You say, like, I think people don't realize, like, as a head coach, how much time you put, like, away from home and put into these kids. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yes, and I have learned a lot through life with that. You know, because at one time I was coaching baseball here, I was teaching math here, and I was coaching football here. I was never at home. I'd walk out and be like, all right, I'll see y'all Saturday. And that was the reality of it. But I also know what it takes to, you know, kind of have a family now. Yeah. Got two girls, got one in 11th grade, got one in 7th grade. And I make it a point to be at everything I can be at for them. Because the hours that you put in out here, especially as the head coach, it's unbelievable. You know, I'm here a lot of times when there's nobody else on campus. It's me and me alone, whether it's early in the morning or late at night. And then even the hours at home, you know, and now, pretty much when I go home now, I kind of try to shut it off and be able to spend time with the girls and, you know, be able to see their stuff and be dad, I guess.
How hard is that? Because I know, even for me sometimes, like, it's kind of harder for me to shut off just the football mindset. You know what I'm saying? Countless hours a day of just football, then just shut it off immediately. Like, how hard is that?
It took years to figure it out. And life happens, and then you have to start making decisions, and it truly takes years. Took me years to figure it out, and I'm glad I did because like I said, I got one that's a dang junior, getting ready to go into her senior year, and she'll be gone. So yeah, it took years. It was tough. And it still is hard. Even though when I go home, there are nights that I say I'm done, and they'll go to bed, and I'm all right. I got to get this done, and I get back to work. So it is. Even though I say I turn it off, I don't always turn it off, but I do a lot better job of it now than what I used to. Yeah.
We speak about the program and stuff like that. Just from when I come back, just seeing the stuff that they're talking about, the Jumbotron, just all the different stuff. Can you talk about what's upcoming and next for the program?
That was one of the things whenever I interviewed for the job. I did talk about facilities and how, we've always had great things here, but a lot of it has been the exact same since, the 70s, 80s, 90s. There hadn't been much change, and people are surpassing us, and we've got to essentially be able to keep up with the Joneses. And, luckily we've got an administration, we've got a county that really wants to do that, and obviously we've got the seats that started in the back last year, the reserve seats that really worked out well. Got a video board coming up this year, got an auxiliary gym popping up, we've got a new weight room popping up. Baseball is going to have some work done to their place here eventually. So athletics as a whole here, we are really trying to up the ante some, and really be able to improve what we're able to offer our student athletes here, because they do a lot, man. I mean, they put in a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of work, and they deserve to have the best. And kind of like, I know, we went down to the weight room a while ago, and you mentioned, it's kind of like a college thing here, and you go to college practices now, and you hear practice like a pro.
Right.
Practice like a pro. Well, this is another NFL team. Well, I want to make ours like another college team.
Right.
So if they're upping their ante to go to the NFL, well, I want to up ours to make it look like a college campus, a college field, run the practices that way, run the weight room that way, have the same facilities. And, obviously we can't get to that, but we can sure strive for it.
I mean, I can see it. Right. I feel like just a little that I seen, it might seem like a little thing, but I feel like it'll go a long way. Like, just because the stuff that y'all have, I didn't get to see that until I got to college.
Right.
So imagine 4 years before, now they're seeing, like, they're getting just that feeling, like, just that organization, just the professional, like, it's when they get to it, it's like I done seen this. You know what I'm saying? They're not big light about the lights, big light about the stadium, big like no, it's just another day to work. You know what I mean?
And that's one of the things that we want to do. We want to make sure those guys are prepared for the next step, whether they go to college or out in the workforce, or whatever they're going to do after high school. That's one of the biggest things. We want to make sure those guys are truly prepared for life, because life gets hard.
Right.
Life gets really hard.
And so this is going to be year 2, right?
Year 2.
How do you, looking back on year 1 now, how do you feel about year 1? How you think that went for you?
Obviously we want to win every game. 10-3. The 3 losses we had, 2 of them played for a state championship. The other one got knocked out in the semis. Successful year. We made it to Thanksgiving weekend, which is, in high school football, if you get to the 3rd round, Thanksgiving weekend, that's always a plus. And it's a hey, you've had a pretty darn good season, because there's not a lot of teams that are getting that opportunity. Could we have done better? Yes. We had a lot to overcome. And I think, with the staff, with the players, I think we got on the right track. I see it as a success. Obviously, we wanted to do better.
Right.
And that's what we're striving for this year. We want to be playing into December, and having an opportunity to play, to play for a state championship.
Right. Y'all hear how he's talking like they went 10-3. They won the conference. And I kind of feel what he's saying, like, that should be a given. Like, that should be. That, you know what I'm saying? That should be the floor. You know what I'm saying? What we're stepping on. Like, a state title is
that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Conference championships should really be a norm here.
Right.
And that's what we want it to be. That's no discredit to other people in our conference, but that's just where we think.
That's just the mentality.
That's our mentality.
And I feel like it's been that way since that was established even before I got there. Honestly,
Correct.
that's what it felt like.
Correct.
You know, and I just feel like that goes a long way to having a winning program, like a winning culture, like with the mentality. Like,
You know, and I mean, whenever you have what we have here, and I mean, if we can get these stats, like, you know, I mentioned, you know, the 90s and how the stadium, how it was just so packed, and I don't think the average fan understands what that does to an opposing team when they walk out here on the field and they see the bleachers completely full, the atmosphere the way it is, the lights, the board, you know, just everything out here. Man, that goes so far.
It's different.
I mean, it goes so far. You know, you go into a place that, well, they don't. You could tell they really don't care about football. Yeah, we got this one. We just come out here to do what we're supposed to do. We've got this one. But you know, you go into another place, it's like, hey, you better strap up tonight, boys. Hey, they got their crap together. It's, you know, we got to be ready to play here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've got a long way to go. We're making strides each day, though.
Right.
How you feeling with this group of guys this year? How you feeling about these group of guys right here?
I really like it. I do. You know, obviously we've got some work to do on the defensive side.
We lost a lot.
We lost a lot. We lost a lot. Lost the whole back end. Lost several of the linebackers, a couple of the D linemen, and they're going to be huge losses for us. They were great players, great kids, but we've got to fill some shoes. You know, we've got Turan back, but we've also got a good group of linebackers and a good group of DBs that are really young. They are extremely athletic, and extremely smart kids. They just haven't played on Friday night.
Right.
So they will get their first taste here real soon. On the offensive side of the ball, I'm not going to lie, we should probably score. We've got the majority of people coming back. We lost a couple of linemen, lost, you know, one or two wideouts, but we probably played 5 or 6 last year as well. So we've got the majority of the offense coming back. We just, you know, we've got to put those puzzle pieces together. And but I'm really excited about it. You know, we kick off spring practice next week. Have to push that as late as possible. We have so many guys involved in track and baseball, and I'm 100% about multi-sport guys. I was, so I don't feel like I can be about multi-sport guys if I don't, you know, allow them to go do it. So it's one of the reasons of pushing spring practice back as late as possible.
Yeah, and just to kind of tie things up for your players and for people that know you, or people as outside watching in and trying to aspire to do what you've done. What do you want them to get, and how do you have to be, the type of mentality you have to have, the type of mindset you have, the type of person you have to be in order to do the things that you did? What would you have to tell them, or what would you tell them?
One big thing is don't give up. A lot of people don't know. First time I ever interviewed for this job was in 2014. I got it 10 years later.
Wow.
It's kind of wild. You know, I didn't expect to get it in 14, but I felt like I needed to put my name in the hat to let them know that I do want this eventually.
Yeah.
And it, you know, I got told by several people I needed to go elsewhere and coach and come back, go somewhere smaller, come back, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I was like, I'm not coaching against Richmond, and honestly, if I leave here again, I'm going back to the beach. Just being dead honest with you. So that was kind of one of the things that I'll just stay here and be an assistant, man.
Yeah.
And I'll try to climb the ladder that way. But so that's one of the big things. You know, don't give up on something you want and something you believe in. Stay the course with it, and you know, keep learning each time, because you know, I worked under 3 different head coaches, and you know, obviously all of them ran a program different, and I learned, you know, something different about every one of them. So, and you know, I had my dad influencing me from being a coach for 30-something years, you know, as far as wanting to get back into it. But our biggest thing with the kids are getting them ready for life.
Yeah.
And again, that's whether they decide to play at the next level, or they decide to go straight to college, or they decide to go into the military, or they decide to go straight into the workforce, or you know, whatever it shall be, to make sure that they're fully prepared for that. And that's one of our motto is be tough. And it's not just a physical toughness. It's a mental toughness as well.
Right.
Because life is a lot about the mental side of it. And if you can't if you can't navigate through the mental side of it, then you're going to really struggle.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of our motto, and you know, it's a physical thing and a mental thing.
Yeah.
People don't understand like the life lessons that I think football brings too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, football, obviously I'm biased to football because I'm the football coach, but any sport in general where you compete and you have failure and you have success and you have the ups and the downs and, you know, all that, that's life. Because, man, I mean, you'll be riding high, you know, great in life, and all of a sudden you get hit right in the face with something that, you know, you're not expecting, whether it's, hey, man, my car just broke down. And now all of a sudden I got to come up with X amount of dollars to get this thing fixed, or hey, my roof's leaking, or man, I got this great job where they got a new boss in here and they don't want me anymore.
Right.
You know, so there's all kinds of things that life will hit you with, and playing sports will for sure help get you ready for that.
Right.
No doubt.
I feel like we're at the point now we can do a little quick fire. So all-time Raider, I need a receiver,
Oh my God.
Oh,
a
he's
tackle, a running back, and a quarterback.
Oh, Lord. Quarterback Mike Thomas. Running back Flip Ellerby. Jaheim Covington's a really close second. Oh, what were the others? A wideout?
A wide out and a tackle.
Oh, a wideout. Who's the best wideout to come through here? Probably a Tony Horn.
Yeah.
Maybe a Mike Quick. It's got to be up in there somewhere. Perry Williams has got to be up in there somewhere. I'm going old school too. What else do we need? Lineman.
Yeah, a tackle.
Tyrone Crowder.
I did it on purpose, I ain't gonna lie.
There's plenty of others.
Nah, yeah, right, but
that
Tyrone.
that one sticks out the most. One, I got to coach him, and you know, but I mean, he's won national championships. So.
Yeah.
What else? What other ones? I did the quarterback. I did the running back.
You did linebacker? You did linebacker?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Linebacker. Man, one that probably doesn't get thrown out there a whole heck of a lot. Corey Nelson.
Really?
Corey Nelson played at the Air Force Academy. Had a great career there. That's one. Donnell Ellerby, Melvin Ingram. I mean,
Crazy.
why y'all gonna ask me these crazy questions like that? I'm gonna have people mad as crap at me. But no, man, there's so many. I mean, you can go around here looking at these signs and, you know, all these people here, and too many to name.
Yeah.
Too many to name. I'll start. We have arguments all the time about that, and I kind of just plead the fifth and I walk off, let all the other coaches argue it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's been a lot of great guys come through here.
Nah, that's a fire list. To wrap it up and stuff like that, for legacy piece, for being in Richmond County for so long, having an impact on Richmond County for so long, what do you want the community to know outside of what you're already doing and what you already did? But what do you want the community to remember you for?
Man, you know, and I'm gonna probably turn this around the whole other way.
Yeah.
A lot of the old timers here, they may know me as the head football coach now. They don't ask me crap about football. How's your dad doing? Where's your dad at now? What's your dad up to? Tell him I said hello. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Hey, I want all these people to be able to say, man, he cared about us. You know, it kind of gets me emotional, because I see that with my dad, and it's from the early '80s all the way up until now, and I mean he's still coaching.
Yeah.
You know, it's that he did things right and cared about the kids.
Yeah. And you definitely do. Like, for the people that we've interviewed and stuff like that, you're just another representation of somebody who pours into a multitude of kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's very undervalued and underappreciated for coaches to have such an impact on kids. You know, they get sent to school for 8 hours a day away from their parents, then add probably another 5 hours a day for just football, you know what I'm saying, the summer and stuff like that. Like, I feel like that's a lot of time to be under somebody's wing.
Yeah.
And I say like my dad, like he's like he's the man to me. Like, he's the guy I look up to. Like, I feel like that's the same thing with you and your dad. Like, he still, you probably talk to, you still feel like a kid sometimes. Just keep talking to your dad. Like,
oh yeah, it is, and you know, it's kind of crazy having him coach with me now. And I mean, it was, you know, I had to do a lot of teaching to him because he was still set in the old ways of, you know, how an offense ran or how football ran. I'm like, hey, it's different now, Dad.
Yeah.
Things have changed, you know. So it's been really fun to have that. And but yeah, it's a tough job with what I do, but you know, and then dealing with, you know, say 130 kids in your program, and all of them have different personalities. And I was literally down there doing grade checks earlier, so you know, it's. You sit there and you're like, man, all right, I got to call him in. All right, they're doing great. Good job. You know, so it's a job. It's a job. It's a juggling act, and you know, you got to approach each kid different.
Yeah, and I just give you my flowers. When I was here, every time you spoke, even though you was I was on the defense side a lot of times, but every time you spoke, people listened. You know what I'm saying? So every time you said something, we knew it was valuable. We knew what you was talking about, and I feel like that's just the thing that imprinted me to the person I am today. Like. Coming to that fourth block in the weight training and stuff like that. Like when y'all talk, we're not here to play. Like we're not here to have fun. Like we'll have fun when we have the state championship. You know what I'm saying? And just that, the way y'all speaking to people, like it literally molds them into that type of mentality that you have to have.
You know, and that's that whole staff that's down there right now, man. I mean, it's a full group effort, and you know, and I give a lot of those guys a lot of freedom to talk. And instruct and teach and coach and, you know, do all of that stuff, because I mean, I do think that they need to hear it from more than one person.
And I say this, like, I didn't play football, but you were my teacher, 10th grade, and I didn't see that side, but you were just real chill, and you were real good with the kids. Even though we had some knuckleheads in there, but like,
good little class.
It was a good time for real.
Yeah. A108, baby. Down in A108. I remember it. Good times. Yes. I mean, you know, and a lot of times, some of the best teachers inside or some of the best coaches are actually some of your best teachers inside the classroom, because they know how to manage kids. They know how to demand attention. They know how to, you know, how to do that type of thing.
All right. And this definitely not for the week, you know, not for the week at all.
No.
But Coach, I appreciate your time.
I mean, I appreciate y'all having me, for sure.
This was just to get your side of the story, and just you out there. I really appreciate you. You were inspirational to me. You're motivational to me. You know what I'm saying? Knowing what you've done, knowing what you're doing, like it's amazing to see. And I say I get jealous that you're getting all that Jumbotron and stuff like that. I get mad. I ain't gonna lie. But I know, like, it started when you was playing. Like you said, it started before you was playing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, that seed is just reaping now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to get some video in there. I'm trying to get some content in there.
You know,
for sure.
Well, there's gonna be plenty of opportunities for it. So, and all that's gonna be coming out here real soon. We got some package deals coming out, and trying to get all that put together before we push it out to the public and all.
And so the first game is
at Hoggard, who is ranked above us in preseason polls. We go to their place. It's a lot like here, even though it's in Wilmington. They've got, you know, multiple schools, but it is a lot like here. They're very tight. Their coach is extremely good. Got a good staff, and they've got some dang players.
Yeah.
So we open up at Hoggard, and then get to come back the first week of school and get the Scots the first week of school, which I think should
first week
of school should kick off the school year pretty cool.
Dang.
Then we've got after that we have Rolesville in week 3, who knocked us out of the playoffs last year. That'll be here as well, and then we go to Northwest Guilford, and then we've got West Forsyth here as well for the non-conference.
Yeah.
Pat the stands.
Yeah, and last point, I don't think a lot of people understand the type of competition that we have played in Richmond County. Even taking it back to when we was playing, I mean, we played that one year, we played Drake May, we played Tad Hudson, which he was crazy that year.
Power
Eccles.
Stephon Gilmore.
I mean,
played for them.
Moose Muhammad. I mean, people that's getting drafted now. I mean, we went through them. We had to go through them to get to a state title. So the competition here is crazy. We play the best people.
You know, and that schedule this year, I did want to play different people. Obviously Scotland's not different, but I did want to play different people than the Butlers, the Cardinal Gibbons, all them, and 71st, which is great. It was great competition, but
Right.
I also do like to branch out and play other people. And it was a war to get the schedule done.
And Scotland's not in our conference no more, right?
Scotland is not in our conference anymore, and talking to Coach Bailey down there, that game's a given. It has to happen.
Nah, fast.
It was just, all right, what week is it going to happen?
Nah, for real though.
We decided on week 2, which is the first week actually school is back in.
Right.
So
Is that the first?
that is the first week school is back in.
Well, no. What is that the first
It's
that
the-
Scotland's ever been the first? Like, because normally they're always at the end of the season.
No, we actually, when I was in high school, we actually played them early in the year as well.
Really?
So it's not the first. This is the second time we have not been in a conference together.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, we were in the same conference. We played them early as well one year. Good money game,
Yeah.
So put some money in the pockets for. We are actually working on a little something with that game too. Hopefully it'll all pan out. That should bring a little bit more excitement to it.
I got you. Well, we'll link all the Richmond football account and stuff like that in the comments. Y'all go follow that journey. Coach Jason, again, I appreciate your time.
Appreciate y'all, man.
And is there anything that you want to give to the people?
Yeah, man. Be here. We're working. We're gonna be ready come August, and like I said, man, I want these kids to be able to experience what a lot of other Richmond Senior High School players have got to experience, and hopefully we can get this thing rolling early and get it back to where we should be. And by all means, come out. It's going to be a family event. It's not just a football game. It is. It's an event that happens on Friday nights in Richmond County, starting August 22nd. And like I said, I invite you to come out and truly see what goes on here, and I promise you'll have a great time.
Yeah. Man, and that'll do it for FillDaGap. I'm CJ, that's Chris.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Hey man, great guys right here doing some good things for this county.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, trying to.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, dog.
That'll do it.